And now I will turn it over to you, Rebe, and you can go ahead and get started.
All right, I will take it away. So, hi everybody. I am, my name is Rebe. It's short for Rebecca. So sounds just like Debbie, but with an R. I was just telling Greg, I am coming up on my 1-year anniversary of being a coach, and probably about my 6th year or 7th year using Evernote. So have a lot more experience with Evernote than I do with this whole coaching thing. So I'm happy to walk you guys through Evernote today, and I am going to share my screen here. So we can go ahead and get started. I am going to do a whole lot of talking. I am probably going to talk way faster than I should, just because there's a lot of information here to go over. I've tried to leave plenty of time at the end for questions, but by all means, stop me as we go through, because as I'm talking about something, your brain is firing, you're thinking about things, let me know, stop me right then, and happy to answer your questions as we go along. So the whole theme of Evernote is remember everything. That's their motto. And the whole point here is to let Evernote do the remembering for you. You just have to remember how to find it. So you don't have to keep all those random little bits and pieces of information, trapped in your memory. You can get it into a container and access it anytime. So today I'm going to start by going over why would we even use Evernote? What can it do for me? How can this help me both in my business and in my personal life? And then we'll go through all of the basics. So what are the basic building blocks? And even some of the advanced features I'll hit at a really high level. If anybody has more questions, I'm happy to go back and talk a little bit more about that, or to work with people one-on-one if you think that that's the key, that's what's really going to take my organization to a next level. So here with your Beachbody applications, these are all of the things that you could keep track of. And then underneath of each of these bullets, I have the element of Evernote that would help you do whatever that action is that's that top bullet. So for instance, in creating a template library, you could use creating a table of contents. You'll use notebooks. You can email those templates to yourself. You can add documents like PDFs or pictures. You can do all of those things. So diving into that, let's take a look at maybe just managing your contacts and your prospect list. So what you could do is you set up your notebook, have individual notes like we saw on our team call last week, individual notes for the individual people or families that you're trying to help. And then set up a tagging system that may have like 5 different statuses. So you have your do not contact because say they're a coach on another team or they're already somebody else's client. But you want to keep track of the fact that you contacted them and that you found out some information why you wouldn't follow up with them. You could have your cold contacts, your hot contacts, your discount coaches, your active coaches, and then challengers. So you could set up a tagging system to quickly sort through that whole notebook with hundreds, hopefully, of contacts that you have in there to say, okay, who are my hot prospects right now? Whittle it down to the 40 maybe that you're actively working and trying to get into a challenge group. Or you have an email that you need to send out to your challenge group people. You have all of that information just because you can click on the tag to figure out, okay, who are my challenge group people. You can also add a reminder to any note. So we'll go through how to set up a reminder, and that will help you tag that contact for when you want to follow up with them next. And it basically becomes your running to-do list. So in personal applications, I use it every day. I literally use Evernote every day across multiple platforms. One of the really powerful personal applications here, two of them that I'm going to highlight on. One is the elder care. I think we can all appreciate having to keep track of important information for a family member, be that an aging grandparent, an aging parent, or even your children. So what my mom has done, she's responsible for my two elderly grandmothers. Each grandmother has their own notebook. Individual notes are inside that notebook about what are the medications that they're on, how frequently do they have to take them, when was it last updated. She's scanned the after visit summaries from the doctors and has that in there. She's got all the contact information for all of the different specialists that they see, has their Medicaid and Medicare information in there, so that when the phone rings and it's midnight and they're taking one of them to the emergency room, she just has to grab her phone and she's out the door, and she has their entire medical history in their phone, can pull it up even on a computer in the doctor's office or in the emergency room, because you can get to it on the web as well. And she's got all that information. And she's shared that notebook with my uncle, with my dad, with myself, so that any of us have to do anything with them, it's all right there and we have access to it as well. One of the things that impacts both personal and your business is taxes. I use this every year. So for your Beachbody application, or the application of this towards your Beachbody business, as you pay for stuff for Summit, you get the bill from the hotel, you are paying for gas because you're driving, or you get the receipt from the airline, you can forward that email receipt directly into Evernote, tag it with 2015, Beachbody, and taxes, and then sort all of that come next February, March when you're doing your taxes, and you will have a running list of all of your major expenses categorized, ready to hand over to your accountant, or if you're going through and doing it yourself. Donations. I snap pictures of the items that I'm donating. I create a itemized list in the same note. And then when I get the receipt from the charity that says, thank you for your donation, here's your official tax receipt, I snap a picture of that. And then I don't have to keep track of that piece of paper. It goes straight into the recycle bin. I have it all filed, all tagged, and I'm ready to go the minute that I have to pull my taxes together. So these are just some of the things you can do to try and manage the avalanche of paper that comes in your mail, that comes through your kids' schools, comes home from doctors, all of those types of things. So let's get into some of the nuts and bolts of what is Evernote. First thing that you need to understand is Evernote is everywhere. It is device and operating system agnostic. What do I mean by that? I mean, you could have a Dell desktop, an Apple laptop, an Android tablet, and an Apple phone, and you would be able to access the exact same notes across all of those devices, across all of those different operating systems or platforms. So it's everywhere. Everywhere that you need it, it's in the palm of your hand. It makes everything searchable. So if you're snapping a picture of the Post-it note that you've scribbled somebody's name down on, you just snap a picture of that Post-it note, and through handwriting recognition, it is going to turn that into searchable text for you. So you're taking notes right now, you're scribbling in your notebook, snap a picture of that and file it into Evernote. Then you don't have to go, God, which notebook was that in? Because I took those notes 6 months ago at a conference and I'd forgotten a notebook. And so I grabbed random paper from the hotel and now I'm trying to keep track of this random piece of paper that's shoved into a notebook. Snap a picture of it, file it in Evernote, and move on. It's then there for you. Again, you can download it to your desktop as an actual software package, or you can just access it through whatever web browser it is that you use. So I should also say all of these screenshots are from my own personal Evernote account. So you guys are going to get a peek under the hood, so to speak, as to what makes me tick and what's important to me. So be kind, because these are my actual notes and and my notebooks. So anyways, we'll just move on from there. Okay, so basic building blocks. I've mentioned a couple of these already, but let's walk through them all. When you sign up for Evernote, they're going to set you up with a default notebook. Inside that notebook, you're going to add notes. Think of this as a spiral-bound notebook that we all had in high school, right? And each of those pages inside that notebook is a different note. Once you have more notes, and let's say you have 2 different topics that you're keeping track of, you can add a second notebook and move those notes and then create notes inside that notebook that pertain to that particular subject. So your notebooks are how you start to group pieces of information into like subjects. Once you have more than 2 notebooks, you can create a notebook stack. Think again of gathering up all of those spiral-bound notebooks into a stack and shoving them in your backpack. So you could have your school stack of math, English, science, and history, and then you could have a work stack of contacts, templates, videos to watch, however it is that you're keeping track of things. Now, tags are probably the other major piece. Tags are tagged to an individual note. A note can have more than one tag, so you can have an unlimited number of tags per note. And the tags can be assigned to notes across all of your notebooks, so that when you go to search, you can search for a particular tag and it will pull up all of the notes across all of your notebooks that have that particular tag associated with it. Another way to think about this is we're all familiar with like Windows structure of you've got files inside a folder, and then you can put a folder inside a folder. This is the same thing. You have notes, which are the equivalent to your files. You put those into a notebook, which would be your file folder, and then you can have one more level of overarching file folder, and that is your notebook stack. It's just a little bit different naming convention. It's something we're all familiar with, though, when you break it down and think about it in something that you're familiar with. Okay, so how do we get started? Just start adding notes. It's as complicated as that. There's no wrong way to use Evernote. Just start jotting down information. Snap those pictures of the Post-its. Scan documents and attach them into a note. It's as easy as dragging and dropping. You can create a to-do list. You can add pictures that are already in your device. It's as simple as that. Just start adding notes. Just put it all into your default notebook. We'll get to how to organize it and how to start separating it once you have a little bit more content. So, you can also do to-do lists. There's a way you can create bulleted lists in Evernote, but you can also add little checkboxes to it. You can see down here, my to-do list is finished Evernote presentation, practice, set up demonstration notes. And I've got finish Evernote presentation checked. So one of the really powerful ways to add notes is from your email. When you sign up for Evernote, they have set you up with an email account that funnels emails directly into your Evernote account. I've listed the instructions here on how to go about finding your email address. Save that email to your contacts. Mine is just called Evernote-Rebe's. And so when I get, again, that confirmation and receipt from Beachbody saying that I'm registered for Summit and that I'm on my way, I've just forwarded that email to my Evernote account, and it's in there and saved for me. Then I can go through, as we'll see later, I can put a reminder on it that will bring it to the top of my list on that Thursday when I'm showing up there in Nashville and trying to register. Let's see. Oh, my other favorite way of adding a note is creating a note from the internet. Download the web clipper for whichever browser it is that you use the most. I love Chrome. I use Chrome whether it's at work or at home. And it's as easy as just clicking on that little elephant up there that's going to be in your browser bar. You can grab screenshots of confirmation pages if they aren't going to actually email you the confirmation number. Like when I order something from Team Beachbody and it says, here's your confirmation number, save this page for future reference, screenshot, save that into Evernote. Once I get it and I know everything's okay with it, I can delete the note and move on. Another thing that I use this for quite a bit is capturing recipes and blog posts or articles. You scrolling around, you click on a link from Facebook, and you're like, wow, this is a great article. I want to share this later with my challenge group, or I want to post this on my, my like page later on. You can save it and tag it to share later, and it's filed right there. It's also integrated with Gmail so that you can snag uncluttered emails without having to actually forward and send an email to yourself. And as you can see here on these slides, which I'll make available on our team page, I have hyperlinks to some of the YouTube tutorials that will walk you through how to do some of this. They're fantastic. So it'll give you a little bit more information than what I'm able to give you right now. It'll give you that deeper dive. So here's just a couple screenshots of how to grab something using the web clipper. And you can see even down here, it's guessed on which notebook it thinks I want to file it in. So it's smart enough that it says, hey, this is from teambeachbody.com. I think you want to put it in the notebook that you have that's called Beachbody Promo Materials. You can tag it from right here. You can also set a reminder on the note from the web clipper dialog box. You can also mark up the screenshots. So if you just take a screenshot with the web clipper, let's say you're on another coach's page and you're like, this is what I want my page to look like. This piece right here. You can grab a screenshot, draw on it with the annotation feature, say this font or this setup, or I really like this, and file it so that when you sit down and have a chance to look at your website, you're able to go back and remember what those inspiration moments were and what you liked about that particular clip that you pulled. Okay, so again, back to your building blocks, getting organized. We've got more notes than should really be in one notebook, or they're on different topics, and we want to get organized. How do we do that? Again, create different notebooks for the different things that you're interested in. You can see some of these screenshots. The green ones tend to come from my iPhone or my iPad, and the ones that have a gray background have come from my desktop version, the software that I've actually downloaded. So you can see I have my default notebook. I've got one that's called crafts because I'm kind of crafty like that. One that I call just my filing cabinet. And then I've got a food stack. I had enough recipes that I had captured that I wanted to break it down into more than just one notebook. So I created 3 different notebooks: desserts, the general notebook food, and ones that are Whole30 or paleo compliant. Then I've nested all of those into one that's just called food. So I can collapse that stack or I can expand it depending on the view that I want. As you can see here, I have my Beachbody stack. I have challenge group posts that I've created templates for, my contact list. I'm keeping track of my expenses, just the general Beachbody notebook for me. It's almost like a default notebook. Promotional materials. So if I download the talking points on a particular program or, whatever, I'll save that into the promotional materials. And then I did Shalene's push 30-day get organized program, and I saved all of the emails that she sent with the video links into a a notebook so that I have access to those going forward and I don't have to dig through my emails to 6 months ago when I signed up for that. And again, tagging is going to be super, super, super helpful for you guys. Especially when you're looking at your contacts list, tag the note to what program they're interested in. If you guys talked about PIO, put PIO as a tag on there. So then you can go back, search hot prospects and PIO if next month's challenge pack special is PIO. And you've got 5 people right there that you can go ahead and send a message out to without having to think and dig back through notebooks and see who did you last talk to about what. Oh, one of the other things, let's see, I think it comes up here is we'll talk about sharing notebooks and how powerful that could be as you grow your team. Okay, so now we've created all these notes, we've organized it, now we've got more notes than we can just scroll through and try and find. How do we find it, whatever that one piece of information is, quickly? You can search by keywords. Again, remember, it turns everything into searchable text. Whether you snapped a picture of from a magazine, of a magazine article, whether you did a web clip, whether that was a screenshot or you actually captured the text in an article format, whether it was your meeting notes that you scribbled in your notebook and snapped a picture of, the Post-its, what have you, everything is now text searchable. You can also search by individual tags. You can also search by location. All of your notes are geotagged when you create them. So if you went to a conference in Austin and created 5 notes, if you go to the location function in Evernote, you can click on it and it will show you a map and it will have dropped pins wherever you've created notes. So when you were at that conference in Austin, you had this really great bottle of wine and you snapped a picture of the label of it because you wanted to remember what it was. You didn't tag it, you didn't put a title on the note, you just moved on and forgot all about it until you're getting ready for dinner tonight and you're like, I want that bottle of wine again. Don't remember what it was called, don't remember, I didn't name, the note, anything, it's just an untitled note that's floating around out there. You could go and go, I know it was a restaurant in Austin. And you could go drill down, find the 5 notes that you created in Austin, Texas, and you'll be able to figure out which one has the picture of that wine label that you wanted. Same thing with, I know I ran into that new contact. I can't remember her name, but it was in downtown Chicago. And you can zoom in and find the notes that you've created in downtown Chicago. As long as there aren't a ton of them, then you'll be good to go. And you'll be able to find them. Another really great thing is that if you find yourself searching for the same set of notes frequently, you can actually save that search as a shortcut. And I've got the screenshot here of how you would do that. You can also, and when you're searching, you can drill down. You can either search all of your notes, or if you know that you filed it in a particular notebook, you can whittle it down and tell it just to search in a specific notebook for whatever it is, whether it's a keyword or a tag. Okay, creating a shortcut is as easy as dragging and dropping when you're on your desktop or on the web. When you're on your mobile device, click on those 3 little dots that are up in the top right-hand corner that give you more options and click Add to Shortcuts. You can make a note or a search, including table of contents notes, which I'll elaborate on here in a second, as a shortcut. Right now, I'm doing PIO, and because all the different workouts are different links, I find myself every night going, how early do I need to get up? Do I have is it a half an hour or is it 45 minutes? So I have a note that has all the links of all of the videos tagged as a shortcut. So I can open up Evernote, look and go, oh yeah, tomorrow I've got to do the 45-minute one. I need to set my alarm 15 minutes earlier. And then when I'm done with it, I can remove it from my shortcuts, still keep it as a note, but it's just not going to show up at the top of my list of notes when I look at Evernote. Okay, table of contents can be really, really powerful. And it's as simple as you can right-click on the note and click copy note link. What that does is it's going to copy a hyperlink for that note, and then you can copy and paste it into a master table of contents note. I use this all the time for my login information. Personally, I've got one and it's just called important information. And I've hyperlinked to all the different notes for my Comcast login, for my Aetna login. So it's got the website, it has what my user ID name is, and then it just has like a memory jogger for me for what the password is. I don't put my passwords written down in any of this, but at least it gives me what's the website, what's my user ID that I've picked for that particular website. I also use it when I have to keep track of a lot of information that needs to be kept in some kind of sequential order, because the notes are a little bit flexible inside a notebook. You can sort it by date created, you can sort it by date last updated, but you can't force it into a different order in the notebook. But you can create a table of contents note, pin that to the top of the notebook by setting it as a undated reminder. And then you'll be able to find the contents of that notebook quickly. And again, it helps you organize it in a logical, sequential manner. Okay, I've mentioned reminders a couple of times. Reminders basically can turn any note into a to-do. Just click on the old school alarm clock that you'll see at the top of every note. And it'll give the option to either leave it undated, which just means that it's going to hang out at the top of this notebook forever until you clear the reminder, or you can give it a specific date. I use this for my to-do list. I use this for my contacts. I'll set a reminder for when I need to follow up with that person the next time. I use it in my personal life all the time with, I've got 2 little boys and we get a million party invitations, and I hate having to keep track of those things. So when a party invitation comes in the door, I snap a picture of it. I set the first reminder for when the RSVP is due. Once I've RSVP'd, I go in, I edit the reminder, I bump it out to when I know that I'm going to be at the grocery store or whatever to pick up a present for the party. And then once I've picked up the present, I go back in, change the reminder again, set it to the day of the party. Then it's right there on my phone. I've got the address, the name of the kid, everything that I need to know right there. One note, I've just changed and edited the reminder 3 times, and I've had to keep track of 0 paper. It's fantastic. So, you can get creative with how you're going to, keep track of these things around the house and within your business. So as I mentioned, here on the left-hand side, down at the bottom, you'll see that old school alarm clock, and it's got a number next to it. That's the number of reminders I have in my Beachbody stack. When I click on that, it'll show me what my 9 reminders are, and then it'll give me the option to add a new reminder right into the notebook stack. Then on the right-hand side is a screenshot from my desktop, and you can see how all of those reminders are listed at the top of the notebook, and I can collapse those or I can expand them. So if I'm not working on reminders right now and my task list, but I need to get in there and find a different piece of information, I can collapse that and have easier access to all my notes without having to scroll through if you have a lot of reminders. Okay, almost done. Bear with me. I'm right on time. This is great. Sharing content. As you start to build your team, this can be really, really powerful for you. Sharing content only comes in with some of the premium accounts with Evernote. Evernote Basic is free, so you don't have to pay anything, and you get to have most of the functionality of what I've shown you here. I have almost 2,000 notes. I use it every day. It's worth 10 times what I pay for it. So I've decided to upgrade to a premium account just because I'm willing to pay for it because I believe the value is so great that I would throw a 3-year-old worthy epic tantrum if they ever turn this service off. So I'm willing to pay for it. And one of the premium features here is sharing content. Now, you can email a particular note to anybody with your free account. It's as simple as clicking share and send via email. And it will email it directly to the person. You just type in their email address. You can add a little message to them, and it'll send the note to them. Will show up just like an email for them, so they don't have any ability to edit the content. Your content is safe. You're just basically taking a screenshot of the note as it exists today and sharing that with somebody else. Now, if the person you want to share something with is also an Evernote user, you can share an entire notebook. Where this becomes really valuable is if you've created a notebook full of templates. We all have those templates of, hey, I don't know if this is right for you, but maybe whatever those initial emails are that you send out when Beachbody gives you a lead, your challenge group posts, if you have one of your free 5-day or 10-day or whatever you're doing, but you do the same posts every time you run that group because it's different people in it every time, create a template library for yourself and you can share that across all of your coaches underneath you so that they have access to it. And then it's just like editing folder permissions. You can either give them read-only access or you can allow them to collaborate with you and edit those notes as well so that they could add notes to the notebook and add their templates to the library as well. There's also a new chat feature that Evernote just debuted. It's called Work Chat. So if you have linked your notebook to somebody else, you can send messages about the content that's in there directly through Evernote without having to go over and send a text message or go to Facebook Messenger and send a message through there. So if somebody has shared notebooks with you, down here at the bottom, you can see joined notebooks. Those are notebooks that you have joined and you have access to view and or edit. But it will be in a separate block underneath all of the content that you yourself have created. Okay, one of the questions that I got was, I have notes, how do I reorganize them? It's super simple. It's as easy as clicking on multiple of the notes that you want to edit, that you want to either group into a notebook, or I'll tag it with the same tag. Hold down Control, tag multiple, make sure that they're all selected. It'll look just like the screenshot that I have here on the right, and it'll ask you, hey, what do you want to do with this? Do you want to merge all of these into one big note? Do you want to email all of these out? Do you want to copy all of the note links for this? And it will create that table of contents for you of all of those notes all at once. Do you want to move all of these to a new notebook? You can either create a new notebook from this window or select one of the ones that you've already done. And you can add tags. So you go through, you select the 5 of them that you want to add. These are my hot prospects now. You can add that tag to all 5 of them just like that. Okay, I threw a lot at you guys. So now is the time for you guys to speak up and ask me some questions. As a memory jogger, I've put the slide back here again so that you can say, okay, what was I most excited about doing and maybe getting a handle on, organizing a little bit more? I know Greg is an Evernote user as well. Maybe he's got some other ideas that I haven't tossed out or a different way of looking at things. So I'm going to put him on the spot and say that he can help me answer some of these questions if I don't know the answer for it. But, think back, and if you've got individual questions, speak up because we've got plenty of time.
Hey, Rebe, just a couple things, comments for me.
Yeah.
I think some of the other features you mentioned, like the web clipper, is a premium feature as well. I'm also,
Okay.
yeah, I'm also a premium user, and I agree, it's well worth it. I think I looked it up. It's $49 a year,
Yeah. And
so it's
and I
not
think
that bad.
there's even there's three levels now. One is the free, and then they've got two other levels.
They have a plus and a premium, and I think
Yeah.
the plus just gives you more space, and but really the
Yeah.
premium gives you the sharing and the web clipping and other things like that, which is really what you want.
Yeah.
Also, one other thing just to share with you guys, Google has a philosophy which I've kind of subscribed to. Instead of sorting, do searching. So search instead of sort. So I don't waste time sorting like my stuff into notebooks or like my bookmarks into folders or anything like that. I don't put my email really in folders. Basically, I just keep it all in one notebook, except if I'm going to share it, like you had mentioned. And I search. I use the tags and I search because Evernote has such powerful searching capabilities, just like Google, that it saves me so much time. I have hundreds of notes, and I can tag and I can search on things in a matter of seconds, and I don't have to worry about what notebook was it in, blah blah blah.
Yeah. And there's really two philosophies of thought. One is using tags, and the other is notebooks, 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 notebooks. So it's really just, how is your brain organized? How do you want to do this? It's so flexible. You can try Greg's philosophy, dump it all in your in your default notebook and tag it, and then you go like, oh my God, this is making me crazy. The type A person in me just wants to scream because it's not in nice neat little rows. And then you can go through and add your notebooks, and it's so flexible that you can try a couple of these organizational methods, and you really aren't going to lose a lot of time trying to flex between the two. Okay, questions. I know you guys are sitting out there with your minds blown.
So Rebe,
Yes.
would you recommend to start off, I would say, to get the feel of this Evernote, like the freebie, and then work your way up when you start needing the space, or you want to start using the web clipping stuff? Or should you just go straight to premium?
I mean, I think they've got a pretty good refund policy. So you could probably do the premium, and then if you hated it, then you could back off. I would probably say give it a couple of months and try it at free and see if it's something that you think that you're going to like. And then if you're going, man, I know it can do so much more, then jump to maybe the premium. Like I said, I quickly saw the value in it, so I went premium pretty fast.
Okay.
And it is a business expense. I mean, this is something that you can write off on your taxes against your business. So, I personally think it's a pretty good investment, but I'm a card carrying fangirl at this point. So you're not going to get an unbiased opinion from me on this one.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Rebe,
Yeah.
I have a question. This is Linda Delnick.
Hi, Linda.
Hi. I have Evernote, but I don't use it very much. I found I haven't used it in almost a year, and there were times when it went down, and I'd have to reinstall. Right now, I see it says I haven't been able to use it. It says that it can't reload it, so I have to uninstall it and reinstall it. Which drives me crazy having to do that. I'm always afraid I'm going to lose information, or what happens if it goes down and you lose all your notes and you keep everything in there. Is there some kind of safeguard that keeps it from just being gone?
There is a way to back it up, and I would have to refresh my memory on it. I can't tell you what that is off the top of my head, Linda, but I can take down a note and circle back with you on that.
But keep in mind that all the notes are stored in the cloud, so they're not just on your laptop or whatever, right?
Oh,
You have the
oh, so
app.
they are in the cloud. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
realize
yeah,
there was another backup for it. And I thought, you know, if they're gone, they're just gone. So if I
No,
keep them there, what do I do if they're gone?
yeah. So, and Evernote, I mean, this is their whole business model. So they're kind of like Walmart, right? They've got like backups to backups to backups, and they're constantly syncing this information across all of your devices. So if you have to, you know, personally, I would download the desktop version of it. That's free. You can download that software for free, and there's just a lot you can do with that. I don't know what device it is that you're using it on, that you're having to, you know, that it's crashing.
I have a Mac.
A Mac, really? I've never had issues with that. But yeah, your information is safe because it all is in the cloud. It's all kept safe by Evernote because that's how they sync it across all of your devices.
Oh,
It goes up to the cloud. Now, if you had something that you didn't want synced, there is a way in the desktop version to have it be a local only notebook, so it's not synced up to the cloud. So let's say that you did want to have, you know, personal information or keep passwords or something like that in a notebook. You could set that notebook so it didn't sync, but then you kind of lose a lot of the flexibility of, oh, it works when I'm on my laptop at work, and it works when I'm on my Mac at home, and it's in my, you know, it's on my phone and in my purse. So I haven't had a whole lot of problems with the app and everything. So
thank you. I didn't know. I didn't realize that it also could be done from your cell phone now, and everything all linked together. That's cool. And, I have a question for Greg too. You use Google a lot, and all your files are in that. Are you
talking to Google?
Google and Evernote, or?
Yes, I use Google Docs. Is that what you're talking about? Google Drive, Google Docs. Yeah, because I like the spreadsheets and the forms and the, you know, Word documents and stuff like that. So yeah, I use them both. I use Evernote and I use Google Docs heavily.
Is there a way of having your Google Doc saved in Evernote?
Well, I don't know if you can save Google Docs, but I know if you get the premium version of Evernote that you can attach like Word documents and stuff, and it'll even allow you, when you search in Evernote, it'll go into those Word documents and Excel documents, and it'll search inside of those, and it'll pull up the notes, which is an awesome feature.
Another nice thing, the connection between the web clipper with Google and Google Chrome, at least, and Evernote, is that when I go to Google and I go to search on the web, because I have linked Google and through the web clipper and my Evernote accounts, when I type in Beachbody, not only does it pull up all the websites for Beachbody, but in the lower right-hand corner, it will show me the notes that I have in Evernote that it thinks are most relevant to the search that I've just put in. So I can go to one place and search not only the internet, but also my notes. It's kind of like on Pinterest. I don't know how many of you guys pin, but like you go to pin something and it'll go, oops, looks like you might have already pinned this again. So you may be searching for something online and you see, oh, I've already searched for that once and I saved it in Evernote. So it's a neat functionality of the web clipper.
Well, thank you very much. I was just wondering.
Sure, and what I do is I go to the Google Docs, and you know how you can share a link, a document link. And what I do is I take those links and I put them in Evernote notes. And that way I can just click on the link and it automatically takes me into the Google Doc.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, because I have some coaches now under me, and I've been using the Google Docs, but I can see the value of the Evernote, and I was wondering, do I want to use both? Do I want to use just the one, or it sounds like I want to use both then?
Well, Evernote is definitely best for notes, right? And save, like Rebe said, you know, saving pictures and notes and stuff like that. Yeah. But if you actually want to create like an Excel document or form, then Google Docs is your best.
Yeah, I love the forms and that with the Google Docs, but like with Evernote, with preparing for challenges and the groups and different things, notes that you're making and pictures that you want to put together, that would be a great place to keep all of that instead of keeping it in my computer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And
Great.
then you can
Thank
just you label it day 1, day 2, day 3, and it's all organized right there for you.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Anybody else have questions? I don't know, guys. Going once, going twice. Speak now, forever hold your peace. I know I'm going to get like 80 messages tomorrow when people will go through and watch this. But that's fine. I'm here. Like I said, I'm a big fan, so I don't mind talking about this and helping you guys get set up. So I'm almost at my 2000th note. So I've been using it for a while.
Hey, Rebe, I have a question for you.
Yeah, Casey, what's up?
I'm sure I have more than one question, but a lot of it, I just have to get started to know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But on the premium version, how much storage can you have on it? You said you have almost 2,000 notes. What is the capacity of it?
Gosh, for premium, I think it's pretty big because I do a lot of PDFs. Greg, do you have the website up right there?
Yeah, premium is unlimited space.
Okay.
Plus is 1 gig and basic is 60 meg.
And I think that's just monthly upload limit. I don't think that's storage limit. I think that's just monthly upload limit, isn't it, Greg?
Okay.
I'm not sure.
The other thing that you get with premium is they prioritize the text recognition of your documents. So they have flagged your account. So if you add a document, they will prioritize going through and doing that text recognition, whereas it might take a day or two for somebody who isn't a premium user. So for me, it's never slowed me down. It's not like I'm, like a trader or something and I'm moving and shaking and need something that fast, but it is just another thing that they do. So.
Okay, that's all I have for now.
Yeah, Casey, as you get in and start using it, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I mean, seriously, just, drop me an IM and I'm happy to answer any questions and we can do a quick Zoom call, just the two of us even, and I can, look at your screen and walk you through some things.
All right, thank you.
Sure. All right. The last thing that I had here at the end is there is some more hyperlinks, an introduction to Evernote, the Evernote blog, the top 10 tips and stories of 2013 for Evernote. And then there's also an Evernote YouTube channel. And those are all really great resources if you're saying, okay, I would need to do or I want to try and figure out how to do something. And it's a good first stop. But like I said, I am here and happy to share the gospel of Evernote. So,
Rebe, are you using the Evernote presentation feature to present that?
No, this is through the Keynote on my Mac.
Okay.
So no, that's one thing that I just haven't had a chance to sit down and play with. I've seen it out there hyped a lot, but haven't really played with that a whole lot.
That would be cool.
I will have to play with that. Talk about your advanced use of Evernote, though.
That's right.
So.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We'll go ahead and end the call then.
All right. My pleasure. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you, Rebe.